Hello everyone! Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Hello mic test. Parang nanibago na ako. Pasensya na kayo, ang tagal nating nawala. But I would like to welcome you back to our channel. Welcome to Teacher Racky's channel para sa mga bago pa lang na nakarating dito. And I am happy to be back. Ang haba ng panahon na na-miss niyo ba ako? Na-miss ko kayo eh. Okay? Pasensya na po kayo. Medyo iginupo na ang ating katawang lupa ng lamig dito sa lugar na to. Sobrang lamig this past few days. So, I got flu, cold and cough. Pero okay lang. Okay na ako. Laban na ako. Kahit medyo basag pa ang boses natin at medyo uubo-ubo, meron tayong glass of water sa harap. At yan, mapapansin niyo yan throughout our video. Pasensya na kayo, inuunahan ko na ng hingi ng dispensa yung mga patunog-tunog natin dito sa video na to. Anyway, I am happy to be back and to continue discussing about RPMS serye. Yes, natapos na natin ang lahat ng classroom observable indicators para sa mga proficient teachers. Now, we're moving on to non-classroom observable indicators and we're going to start with objective number 8. Pero bago yon, syempre, na-miss ko din to. Mag-shoutout muna tayo. Magpa-shoutout muna tayo sa ating mga suking mga subscribers na hindi nakakalimot. Unahin ko na si Ma'am Marisa Chavez. Thank you, Teacher Racky, for sharing a very informative topic. You're welcome po. We also have from Ma'am Rosebel Montojo. Hoping that you can share to us the lesson plan as guide only. Thank you in advance. Sinishare ko po ito, Ma'am Rosabel. Sana po nakapag-request na po kayo nito. Sana napadalan ko na kayo. Hindi ko lang po kasi sigurado kung sino-sino ba yung mga napadalan ko na. Hindi ko memorize. But I am sharing this lesson plan. I hope meron mga pa-comment po dito dun sa mga nakahingi na, nakapag-request na ng lesson plan natin. Anyway, we also have from Ma'am Bernadette Irma Caballa. Thank you po for sharing. You're welcome as always, Ma'am. We also have from Sir Jose Brazil Vencito. Hello po, Teacher Racky. Thanks po a lot again for this video. More videos po and more blessings po. Maraming salamat po. From Ma'am Grace Irene Ribuyas, waiting po yung para sa MT. Yes, Ma'am. Kakayanin natin yan. Next one from Sir Rolly Rivera. Thanks, Teacher Racky. You're welcome po. From Ma'am Raquel Gregorio. Katukayo ko pa si Ma'am Raquel. Thank you po and God bless po. Thank you din po. We also have from Ma'am Arlene Joy Nogalada. Hello, Ma'am. Hello din po. And from Ma'am Chris Pearl Washington. Sabi niya, hello po, Teacher Racky. Ang dami ko na po palang panonooring videos nyo. Ngayon ko lang po ulit nabuksan notifications ko mula sa inyo. Salamat po ng marami at hindi po ako maiinip sa kahihintay ng mga vlog po ninyo about IPCRF 2023. Sana po ay hindi pa kayo naiinip after a long while ng ating medyo pagpapahinga ng bahagya. And we have from Ma'am Carmelita Lupante. Hello po, Teacher Racky. This is of great help po. Ay, maraming salamat po. We also have from Ma'am Rian Pearl Abellana. Hello po, Teacher Racky. Very informative po. Ulit-ulitin ko pong panoorin ang video na to. From Panabo City po. Hello sa lahat ng mga taga Panabo City. Hingi po sana ng soft copy ng lesson plan na to. Thank you. Sana po napanood niyo pa nating videos on how to request for free template. Just follow the instructions po. Binibigay ko po ito, sineshare ko po ito, wag po kayong mag-alala. Hindi ko po. Next, from Ma'am Febelin Taborada. Thanks, Teacher Racky. You're welcome po, Ma'am. From Ma'am Carmela Laksama. Thank you, Teacher Racky. You're welcome po. From Ma'am Nessa Dalamig. Hello, Teacher Racky. Pa-share po ng sample lesson plan for COT po. Salamat in advance. Yun po, just follow the instructions. Kung mababanggit ko dito sa video na to, kung hindi po, please see our other videos. Pinabanggit ko po yan sa iba pang mga videos natin, yung instruction on how to request for free template. Ano po? We have from Sir Jack Nagrampa. Thanks po, ma'am. You're welcome po. And we also have from Ma'am Euphemia Dolores. Salamat, Teacher Racky, sa binigay mong sample DLP. O, ayan ha. Meron tayong ebidensya. Binibigay natin, sinishare natin ang ating lesson plan. Lahat ng ginagawa ko dito, sinishare ko po yan sa inyo. Lalo ako nagkaroon ng tiwala na magagawa ko ng buong buo ang classroom observation. Number 2, salamat ulit. Kayang-kaya natin yan. Huwag tayo magpapatakot dyan sa mga ano na yan. Simple lang yan. Magarbo lang yung pagkakagawa ng guideline, pero simple lang to gawin. Kayang-kaya natin. Tayo pa. And last one from Ma'am Sally. Sabi niya, blooming. Wow. Hello po, Ma'am Sally. Si Ma'am Sally po ay aming school head from Kisaw Integrated National High School. Hello po. Kamusta po kayong lahat sa ating paaralan? And that's it for our pa-shout out. Now we're ready. Huwag na nating habaan kasi medyo mahaba talaga yung ating video for today. This is about our reflection notes po, yung ating objective number 8. I suggest na panoorin nyo po yung ating buong video from start to finish. Huwag po kayo magpapalampas kasi may mga special tips sa loob po ng video na to kung paano natin ma-accomplish tong objective na to. With that, let's start objective number 8. So let us start discussing about objective number 8. This is the first non-classroom observable indicator for our RPMS tool for Proficient Teachers for school year 2022 to 2023. Under this, teachers must be able to participate in collegial discussions that use teacher and learner feedback to enrich teaching practice. So, ibig sabihin, bilang proficient teachers daw, we should be able to join, participate sa iba't ibang klaseng collegial discussions na gumagamit ng iba't ibang teacher and learner feedback so that we can enrich our teaching practice. Now, this is under KRA number 3, Curriculum and Planning. So, participated in collegial discussions that use teacher and learner feedback to enrich teaching practice. That is our objective. For the means of verification, may iba't ibang attachment na pwede nating gamitin for this objective. Number 1, proof of attendance in LAC session, FGDs, meetings, and other collegial discussions. Number 2, minutes of LAC session, FGDs, meetings, other collegial discussions on use of teacher and learner feedback to enrich teaching practice. And then number 3, reflection notes of teachers on their demonstration of teaching practices following participation from LAC session, FGDs, meetings, other collegial discussions that use teacher and learner feedback to enrich teaching practice with proof of attendance. And number 4, any equivalent ALS form or document that highlights the objective. This is for ALS teacher. Now, for this objective, we will be rated according to the quality and timeliness of our MOVs. Sa quality, makakakuha tayo ng 1 point kung wala tayong ilalagay na attachment. 2 points naman kung tayo ay makakapag-attach lang ng attendance sheet showing na tayo ay nag-attend. So, nandun lang tayo dun sa collegial discussion without any participation, but we are present. Okay? Number 3, nag-participate tayo. Nag-attend tayo and then we shared practices. Meron tayong participation, may part tayo dun sa naging collegial discussion. Paano natin ito mapapatunayan? Dapat nakalagay ito dun sa minutes of the meeting. Ano yung naging part natin during the collegial discussion? So, dapat, ang attachment natin to get 3 points is minutes of the meeting. Kung saan nakalagay yung pangalan natin na tayo ay nag-participate or we did something dun sa collegial discussion. Now, we get 4 points kung tayo ay gumawa ng reflection notes, which is means of verification number 3. Kaya lang, we only reflected on practices. yung diniscuss during the collegial discussion. Nag-reflect lang tayo doon. So, we only got 4 points. At makakakuha tayo ng highest possible score kung dun sa reflection note natin, maipapakita natin ang ating mga plano. Nagplano tayo on how we are going to enrich our teaching practice based on what we have learned during the collegial discussion. So, reflection note na may plano ng paano mai-enrich ang ating teaching practice. Okay? So, yun ang kailangan natin gawin. Because we always aim for the highest possible score. Now, for the timeliness, sabi dyan, makakakuha tayo ng 5 points kung makakapag-attach tayo ng 4 na MOVs, 1 for each quarter. 4 points naman kung 3 quarter lang ang na-provide natin. And 3 points kung sa 2 quarter lang, 2 points kung 1 quarter lang tayo nakapag-participate sa collegial discussion, and 1 point kung wala tayong nai-attach na MOVs. Now, ang tanong ng madami, actually, na-receive ko na yung mga question na to na, kailangan po ba 4? Paano yun? Third quarter na lumabas yung memo ng bagong guidelines. So, paano po magkakaroon ng first and second quarter? Actually, depende to sa magiging local arrangement sa school. So, it will depend on the raters and school administration if you will still be required 1 for each of the 4 quarters o 2 quarter lang. Katulad ng ginawa nating classroom. Kaya lang kasi mga kapatid at mga kapwa guro, ang collegial discussion po ay hindi naman bago sa ating industriya. Ano po, kahit naman wala pa tong bagong RPMS guideline, dapat nagagawa na tayo ng collegial discussion. Ginagawa na natin to dati pa. So it is expected na even before the new guideline came out, nakapag-collegial discussion tayo during first and second quarter. But then again, it depends on our school local arrangement. Let's take note of these. MOVs for the rating of this performance measure must contain date stamps to track conduct of such activities. For example, date in the attendance sheet, minutes, and reflection notes, minutes. Okay? Now, ang mahiwagang tanong, paano tayo magkakaroon ng highest possible score for this objective? We will be guided by the PPST 4.4.2. This PPST Resource Package Module 8 offers illustrative and instructive information that can help raters achieve this objective. So, with that, let us start analyzing how are we going to do the MOVs for this objective. Number 1, ang tanong, how to do reflection notes. Paano ba tayo gagawa ng reflection note? Ang reflection note natin, hindi lang tayo dapat magre-reflect. Dapat, it should also contain our plans on how to enrich teaching practice based sa naging learning natin from the collegial discussion. Yun ang pinaka-importante. Hindi lang basta reflection note. Number 2, what are the different collegial discussions that we can participate with? Ano ba yung mga collegial discussions na to na pwede nating salihan para magkaroon tayo ng MOVs? Remember that this collegial discussion should reflect on the teaching and learning feedback. Dapat may connection sa teaching and learning feedback yung mga collegial discussion na sasalihan natin. Okay? With regards to the collegial discussion, we will be guided by the PPST Resource Package Module 8, participate in collegial discussions that use teacher and learner feedback to enrich teaching. So, ipapaliwanag sa atin ni Module 8 ng PPST Resource Package kung ano-ano ba itong mga collegial discussions na to. Our profession demands collaboration so we can continuously improve our teaching learning processes. As members of our school communities, we need to participate in various activities that highlight collaboration with our colleagues. Alam naman natin na napaka-importante, lalo na sa ating profession bilang guro, ang collaboration. We cannot, well, this applies to everybody naman. Nobody can live alone. No man is an island. ganun din kaimportante bilang teacher yung collaboration. So to help you build strong collaboration among your colleagues and school leaders, we will provide you with several illustrations of practice of collegial discussions which you can adopt. These are important in collectively thinking, reflecting, and acting to enrich your current teaching practices. So, isa-isahin natin kung ano ba itong mga collegial discussion na to. But before that, let us understand the different key concepts. Professional collaboration. This refers to teachers working together with colleagues and other stakeholders to enrich the teaching learning process. So, yung tinatawag na professional collaboration. Another one, collegial discussion. This refers to mutually respectful professional conversation with colleague or colleagues. Pwedeng isa lang ang kausap mo, ang kasama mo, or marami, which can be formal or informal, that promotes shared responsibility in enhancing the current practice. And then what is the feedback? This refers to information given about the teachers and learners' performance for enriched teaching practice. Okay, so ito yung mga pag-uusapan natin during this discussion. The first collegial discussion that we can engage with is called the focus group discussion or yung FGD. Pamilyar na sa atin lahat itong FGD na to, di ba? So, FGD is used to bring together a group of individuals with similar interests or experiences to explore a particular issue in a structured way. Okay? It is a guided, structured conversation among a specific group of people. The purpose of FGD is to discuss experiences, opinions, and ideas about a particular issue. It is where a selected group of people discusses a given topic or issue facilitated by a professional or external moderator. So for an FGD to take effect, there should always be a professional that facilitates the entire conversation or the entire meeting. Collegial discussion is built on mutual respect and trust. For it to become a meaningful professional conversation, the teacher should be actively listening and providing honest feedback. This will provide a common ground for collaboratively reflecting and directing efforts to the enhancement of the teaching practice. During FGD, it should not only be the professional or the moderator that talks, that discusses. Kailangan may participation din ng bawat isa. Merong feedbacking din, okay? Para maging effective ang FGD. Next one, another example is the collegial discussion between peers. In a school, a second grade teacher finds teaching reading challenging. She knows that her colleague has a broad knowledge of different reading strategies. She talks to her and requests for a peer observation. On the agreed date, the peer teacher models the reading technique that she finds effective for her class. After, they engage in a discussion clarifying how the new teacher can apply the technique to her own class. So, yung collegial discussion between peers, halimbawa, ikaw na teacher, you're struggling with a specific lesson, paano ipapaintindi sa mga estudyante. And you know someone that can do it really well. So, pwede kang makipag-usap sa kanya kung pwede kang mag-observe during their class, during his or her class, para makita mo at matutunan mo kung paano niya ginagawa yun ng mas madali. So, that's collegial discussion. You have noted that peer observation involves teachers observing each other's practice and learning from each other. Here, teachers have the opportunity to give and receive feedback about teaching practice and develop awareness about their own teaching. Now, how do we do peer observation? There are 3 stages in peer observation. Number 1, may pre-observation. So, the observer meets with the teacher before the class to learn about the lesson's focus and objectives. Pag-usapan nyo, ano ba yung focus na gusto mong malaman or matutunan from this colleague. Number 2, during the observation stage,
Ito na yung papasok si teacher observer sa klase ni host teacher. The observer should arrive a few minutes early and be as discreet as possible. Sit in the back of the room, focus solely on observation, and observe the entire lesson, and make detailed descriptive records for the post-observation meeting. Observe lang talaga. Wala kang participation during the class. Titingnan mo lang at pag-aaralan para matutunan mo yung point na kung saan mahina ka. And then, we also have the post-observation meeting. Dito na, where both the teacher and the observer should reflect and discuss. Dito nyo na pag-uusapan kung ano yung nakita mo, na-observe mo, at kung ano yung natutunan mo, at kung paano mo ito i-apply sa iyong sariling teaching practice. So, Another example of collegial discussion is the professional learning communities. In an elementary school, the teachers with the master teacher as the LAC leader conduct school-based professional learning sessions that focus on the different instructional approaches for K-12. Teacher experts lead the discussion and the demonstration teaching. The LAC leader then evaluates the teacher's application of learnings from the LAC through classroom observation. So, ito na yung tinatawag natin na LAC session, okay? So, pwede tayo mag-conduct ng LAC session, discussing about different teachers and learner feedback. As you observe, the teachers in the sample illustration of practice participated in the school-based learning action cell. Teachers like you can improve your practice through its collaborative learning sessions. Your active participation in LAC will equip you with the content knowledge and pedagogical skills which you can utilize to enrich your instructional practices. Likewise, you can also share your best classroom practices in the LAC for your colleagues to reflect on and apply. Remember that professional learning communities like LAC session can be maximized to improve learner performance, with teachers discussing a range of topics to support teaching and learning. They are also vital in addressing their professional development needs, sharing challenges in teaching, strategies, and best practices, and even sharing new skills and knowledge learned in other trainings. For successful LAC implementation, our department highlights its stages and the underlying processes. The first stage generally aims to build trust and clarifies purpose by setting the norms for the LAC session. The next stage emphasizes working together and planning to identify the focus and direction of the LAC. The final stage describes how the LAC team will track their progress. Now, how do we do LAC session? Number 1, serve as LAC facilitator or documenter or resource person for certain topics when assigned such roles. Develop plans to apply what has been learned and implement agreed action plan in one's classroom. Then monitor one's progress in relation to the LAC plan. Prepare and submit documents or materials as needed and bring materials relevant to the topic. Usually, pag LAC session, meron tayong, anong tawag doon? Meron tayong mga activities na pinapagawa para ma-assess yung ating learning from the topic in the LAC session. Number 5, reflect on the implementation. Then share learnings with colleagues and in informal settings. Prepare to share in each LAC session. And last one, allow LAC leader to observe how the learning was applied. Remember, LAC is not just a meeting. It is a purposeful professional learning activity for us teachers which focuses on addressing critical areas in instruction that need improvement. Another one is the coaching session. Based on this practice, instructional coaching can become a meaningful and powerful tool to engage teachers in professional learning. It comprises a collaborative partnership supporting teachers' goal setting using research-informed teaching practices. The coach focuses on supporting the professional growth of individual teachers through modeling practice. classroom observation and reflection, joint problem solving, and conversations about teaching practice. So how do you do it? Number one, provide honest evaluation of your personal teaching practices. Number two, seek and be open to suggestions. And then number three, reflect on your practices. Build on them and modify them if necessary. Fellow teacher, I know that you are quite hesitant to engage in instructional coaching. Madalas, nahihiya tayo or awkward tayo to engage in instructional coaching. But you should not be. Bear in mind that it is not a session for finding faults in the teacher's practice. Hindi tayo nagko-coaching session para lang hanapan tayo ng mali. Hanapan tayo ng mga palpak na mga nagawa natin. Rather, it will guide you to enhance your practices through self-directed reflection. The last example of collegial discussion from the PPST resource package is the learning walk. The teachers participate in a classroom visit to learn from the classroom management styles of the host teacher. Prior to the visit, they communicate the idea to the host teacher, who positively agrees and prepares for it. On the scheduled date, the teacher walkers visit her classroom while she teaches. They are able to collect evidence of her effective techniques. After the visit, they engage in a professional dialogue that highlights sharing of the host teacher's effective practices like pair work and differentiating learning activities. So, ang learning walk ay halos parang peer observation lang din. Kaya lang, ang pagkakaiba ng peer observation and learning walk, sa peer observation, usually, isang observer lang ang pupunta sa classroom ni host teacher to observe. And usually, sa peer observation, maaga dapat si observer pupunta, si teacher observer, para hindi makadistract sa klase. Unlike sa learning walk, ang learning walk can be done with 2 or more teacher observers. Pwede siyang bumisita, pumasok sa klase while the class is ongoing. Depende sa napag-usapan nyo which part of the lesson or the class yung gusto nyong i-observe. Okay? The practice described illustrates learning walk, which consists of a group of teachers and perhaps school leaders. They are usually called walkers, visiting and observing the practices of the teacher host in the classroom. Here, the group identifies the relevant teaching and learning focus and gathers evidence related to this focus from across the school. Observers then build the whole school picture of practice in the identified focus area while also developing insights into their own professional practice. So parang isang grupo ng mga teacher who talk about a certain focus, teaching and learning focus, and they want to observe that to different teachers. But then again, kailangan to pinag-uusapan muna beforehand. Hindi to surprise visit. Ano po? This is a planned visit. Para si teacher host ay nakakapaghanda din. So how do you do it? Number 1, provide authentic evidences for the agreed area of focus of the learning walk. Number 2, provide your colleagues or workers with sample evidence of your best practice. So, si teacher host, bibigyan na, mag-share na siya ng best practices with regards to the focus, to the area of focus ng learning walk. And then number 3, seek for clarifications in your practices. And last one, reflect on the discussion and apply relevant learning. You might have developed the stigma of threatening unplanned visits in the classroom. But the learning walk is different. Alam natin to, tanggap natin to mga teacher, na meron tayong fear of these unplanned visits, diba? Ramdam natin to, na experience natin to, pag may bisitang dumadating sa paaralan, medyo kinakabahan tayo, baka tayo madaanan at mapasok, diba? But learning walk is not like this. It is not a surprise classroom visit. It should be well communicated. Pinag-uusapan, pinagpaplanuhan to ahead of time. The observer walkers and the host teachers should identify and agree on a common area of discussion. It should also be non-disruptive and non-invasive to the host classroom activities. So, dapat hindi siya makaka-disrupt ng klase at hindi mo naman i-invade yung host o yung host teacher sa kanyang classroom activities. Wala kang papakain naman doon. Mag-observe lang. It is not evaluative, nor it is designed for individual feedback. We're not evaluating the host teacher here, but we are observing her or his best practices. Aside from these formal and structured modes of collegial discussion, you may also have engaged in the similar informal professional conversation. Halimbawa, during the learner's recess, a teacher advisor approaches and asks the Muppet teacher of the class to check if his or her learner has obeyed the class rules they both set. So, that is an informal collegial discussion. Si advisor, lalapitan si subject teacher and ask about their students, their learners. So, that can be an example of collegial discussion. Another one. A teacher in an informal dialogue airs his or her concerns about the frequent absences of his or her learner to a teacher friend. In their exchange, the teacher agrees with the friend's advice to conduct a home visit and to talk to the learner's parents. Okay? Naglabas tayo ng ating hinaing sa isang teacher friend about a certain problem with a student. With one particular student. Tapos, nagbigay ng advice si teacher friend and you followed it. So, that's another collegial discussion. And another one, a teacher engages in an informal discussion in a social media platform when he or she seeks advice about her problem in finalizing his or her class list in the learner's information system. O, nag-usap kayo through messenger or chat, diba? That's informal informal collegial discussion na rin yun. Nagtanong ka kung hindi mo maintindihan sa pag-encode sa LIS, that's collegial discussion na din po in an informal way. So, collegial discussion can be informal or informal. For your participation in collegial discussions, you need to develop trust and respect for your colleagues because they can provide you with significant feedback which you can utilize to enrich your teaching practices. Likewise, your commitment to apply whatever learnings you have gained from these professional collaborations will contribute immensely to the enrichment of your teaching practices. Having seen how indicator 4.4.2 can be achieved, you are now better equipped to engage in collegial discussions. Happy collaborating. The next thing to note is, how do we get the highest possible score in our RPMS portfolio after learning all the different kinds of collegial discussions? Ano nang ang gagawin natin? How do we make a reflection note? Kasi di ba, to get the highest possible score, we must be able to make a reflection note. Now, ang reflection note po, wala namang binigay sa ating guideline na specific template for a reflection note. Walang specific template for a reflection note. This will depend on how teachers will create their own reflection note. And for the purpose of this discussion, I have come up here with a simple template ng reflection note. On a reflection note, what is important to appear is what has transpired. Ano ba yung naganap? Anong collegial discussion yung naganap? What was the purpose of the collegial discussion? When and where? Dapat may date, di ba? Saan naganap to? And with whom? Sino yung mga participants sa collegial discussion? Another one is what were your learnings? Ilalagay mo dito the observations that you had through the collegial discussion, di ba? Ano yung mga best practices na nakita mo na natutunan mo? And what are the things that you think needs improvement? And most importantly, kailangang ilagay natin sa reflection note, what are your plans? Kasi kailangang meron kang plano to enrich your teaching practice. So on this part, you have to explain how can this collegial discussion help you enrich your teaching practices. So, ganito lang kasimple. Hindi na natin kailangang pahirapan ng ating mga sarili. Ang importante lang, makagawa tayo ng reflection note. At sa reflection note na yon, maipakita natin kung paano tayo magplano, kung ano yung mga plano natin to enrich our teaching practices. So, right now, we are ready to create reflection notes. Let us take this example from PPSD resource package. So, yung una nating reflection note na gagawin is from a collegial discussion between peers. So, ito yung may isang teacher who finds teaching reading challenging in approach niya yung isang teacher para matutunan kung anong reading strategies ang ginagamit niya sa kanyang klase. So let us take time to read the transcript of their collegial discussion after the peer observation. Sabi ni Teacher A, I'd like to thank you, Mom, for accepting my request for peer observation. Sabi ni host teacher, you're very much welcome. So how did you find the strategy that I used? I thought that my kids would really enjoy the lesson too. When you showed the video, the children really enjoyed rapping. The chant on words with initial P sound really caught their attention, and they even sang it too. What else do you think would work for your own class? I particularly liked the guessing game that you did. Kids were really excited to guess the object inside the box. That's nice. I hope I have helped you. In this conversation, we can observe that there is more freedom of exchange of views regarding practices. Here, the teacher's feedback is channeled through a less threatening and more friendly conversation. Likewise, the decision to enrich one's practice is already built through effective modeling. Okay? So, this is an example na lalagyan natin or gagawa natin ng reflection note. So, this is our reflection note. Linagay ko dito, this is for Objective 8, first quarter, and the collegial discussion participated with is peer observation. So, ito yung aking reflection note. Meron diyang what has transpired. So, for example, it was done last August 5. I consulted with Mrs. Andrea Santos, our master teacher in English, about my struggles in teaching reading with my grade 2 class. Lalagyan lang natin ng senaryo yung what has transpired. Senaryo ng tungkol dun sa nangyaring peer observation. Paano kayo nag-conduct? Ano yung topic nyo for that peer observation? Ano yung area of focus? Yun yung ilalagay sa what has transpired. Tapos, what were your learnings? Nakita naman natin doon sa example kung ano yung mga naging learning niya. Nalaman, I have learned that pupils enjoy learning through videos. Tsaka yung guessing game. So, yun lang. Ilalagay lang natin through words in paragraph form. And then, importantly, what are your plans? So, after doing the peer observation with Mrs. Santos' class, I am now confident to adopt the learning I had to my class. I will start using games that my pupils will enjoy so I can instantly catch their attention to learning. I will also try to find videos that will help my pupils understand the lesson well while they are also enjoying. From now on, I will make it a point to make my lesson not boring and tough for my young pupils. Instead, I will make sure that they will enjoy every part of it for easy retention. So, ayun, pinakita mo kung ano yung mga plano mo. So, that is reflection notes with plans to enrich teaching practice. What's very important on a reflection note, may pirma ng mga participant ng collegial discussion, okay? May pangalan, may pirma, at may date. Kasi yun yung nakalagay sa note sa RPMS tool. With that, we are now ready to attach our MOVs. Ayan na yung reflection note natin. And then, we also have to attach picture, diba? Para kumpleto yung evidence natin. Reflection note and then picture during the peer observation. So, that's one. Gawa pa tayo ng isa. Okay, for the second quarter, kasi dapat daw each quarter meron eh. So for the second quarter, yung focus group discussion naman ang inatinan natin. Okay? So what has transpired? So, lock session pala dapat to. Sorry doon. Lock session to discuss about DM008 or the multi-year guidelines. So, for example, nagkaroon kami ng lock session with the senior high school department discussing the new guidelines in crafting our RPMS portfolio. So, ilalagay mo din what were your learnings, ano yung mga natutunan mo, ano yung mga bago sa bagong guidelines na to. And then, most importantly, what are your plans? After this last session, I am now ready to start working on the different MOVs that I'm going to attach to my RPMS portfolio. So, i-discuss. So, what are your plans? I-discuss mo lang dito. Wag na nating basahin. Pwede nyo basahin to. I-post nyo lang yung video and you can read the content. I-discuss mo lang dito yung mga plano mo after how this lock session would help you enrich your practice. Okay? And of course, we should also attach attendance sheet kasi lock session to eh. So this was participated by different but by more than 2 or 3 teachers. So kailangan may attendance sheet. So ayan ang example ng attendance sheet. Okay? Next one, for the third quarter, syempre ang third quarter, nagkaroon na tayo ng classroom observation dito. So we can make use of coaching session. Remember, during class observation, meron tayong pre-conference, observation, and then post-conference. So yung coaching session, pwede natin gamitin to during the post-conference of classroom observation. So dito, I did a reflection note from the coaching session. For example, that I did my classroom observation. Yun yung what has transpired. Yung aking third quarter classroom observation. Tapos paano kami nagkaroon ng discussion with my rater. Tapos, what were your learnings from the coaching session? Ano yung natutunan mo during the coaching session? And then, what are your plans? Ano na ang plano mo after learning those things from the coaching session? How do you plan to apply these learnings to enrich your teaching practice? And of course, lalagyan natin yan ng signature ni Racky at ni Rater, yung participants ng coaching session, and the date as well. We can also attach pictures as evidence. For the fourth quarter, gamitin natin example yung learning walk. So, kunwari, nag-usap-usap yung mga teacher to do a learning walk and observe best practices from a certain teacher. So, let us take time to read this transcript. Sabi ni Teacher Walker A, I'd like to thank you, ma'am, for accommodating us in your class. This was the post-conference na, after the professional dialogue, after the learning walk. So sabi ni host teacher, you're welcome, ma'am. And then Teacher Walker B, we have observed that pair work really works in your class. How did you do it, ma'am? So, diniscuss nila yung ginamit ni host teacher na pair work on her class. So, the transcription presented highlights professional conversation after a learning walk. Here, the host teacher and the teacher walkers discuss a specific area in the instructional practice that impacted learners' performance. They collaboratively proved the reasons for such practice and the way they implement the practice in class. So, ito yung gagawa natin ng reflection. So, ito yung reflection note for the fourth quarter. So, yung what has transpired, ito yung learning walk. Paano nyo plinano, ano yung purpose ng learning walk, at kailan nyo ito ginanap, diba? You can also include the name of the participants, who is the host teacher, who are the teacher walkers. Tapos, what were your learnings? Ano yung nakita mo, na-observe mo during the learning walk? And then, what are your plans? How do you plan to use this on your own class? And, of course, lalagyan natin yan ng pangalan ng mga participant ng learning walk and their signature plus date. We can also attach pictures as evidence of the activity. So, kompleto na ang ating 4 na reflection note. Okay, balikan natin yung ating RPMS tool. So, for Objective 8, i-rate tayo according to quality. So, makakakuha tayo ng 5 points if we have attached planned for enriched teaching practice based on the collegial discussions we attended as shown in MOV3. So, makapag-provide lang tayo ng isang reflection note with plan for enriched teaching practice. Isa lang, hindi kailangang 4. Isa lang, makakakuha na tayo ng 5 points for the quality. Okay? Isang reflection note lang with plans. 5 points na yun for the quality. Now, for the timeliness, kailangang makapaglagay daw tayo ng 4 na MOVs, di ba? 1 for each quarter. So, dapat meron tayong 4 na MOVs. So, kung meron na tayong isang planned for enriched teaching practice na reflection note, kahit yung 3 is we only attended last session, pwede na rin yun. 4 na rin yun, makakakuha na rin tayo ng 5 points sa timeliness. Okay? So, hindi kailangang 4 na reflection notes with plan for enriched teaching practice. Isa lang, makakakuha na tayo ng 5 points sa quality, tapos para sa timeliness, kailangang mag-attach pa tayo ng 3 pang iba't ibang evidences. Okay? So, hindi mo kailangan gumawa. Pero kung gusto mo at kaya mo, why not? Pwede din naman. Wala namang question doon, di ba? You can attach 4 kung gusto mo. Pero kung hindi ka nakapaggawa ng reflection note, basta nag-attend ka lang, okay na yon. Basta meron ka lang isang reflection note among the 4. Okay? With that, we are now ready to compute for our IPCRF rating computation. So, yung means of verification natin, yung ating mga reflection note on peer observation, last session, coaching session, learning walk. Dahil may reflection note tayo na may plan to enrich teaching practice, 5 points na yun for the quality. Now, yung isa naman, dahil nakapag-provide tayo ng 4 na MOVs for each quarter, 5 points na for the timeliness. Okay? So, punta na tayo sa ating RPMS portfolio. So, sa ating RPMS portfolio, natapos na natin yung ating iba't ibang part, diba? Yung may mga classroom observable indicators. So, punta na tayo sa ating objective number 8. Ang ating unang non-classroom observable indicator. So, ito yon. Originally, ang ating template would look like this, di ba? Ganyan yung nakalagay sa ating template. Pero dahil nga each quarter maglalagay tayo ng attachment, I decided to revise to this. So, first quarter, naging 2 pages yung attachment natin. First quarter, reflection note and picture. Second quarter, reflection note and attendance sheet. And then third quarter, reflection note and picture. And then last quarter, reflection note again, plus picture of picture of the activity. Now, ang sabi ko nga sa inyo, hindi kailangang 4 na reflection note. Yun lang ang ginawa kong example. Pero pwede nyo rin gawin kung gusto nyo. And then we add the annotations. Annotation, paliwanag natin kung ano yung mga ating ginawang attachment at paano tayo nagkaroon ng 5 points. So, dahil naggawa tayo ng reflection note with plan to enrich teaching practice, nakakuha tayo ng 5 points for quality. At dahil meron tayong 4 na attachment, that's 5 points for timeliness. Okay? Now, we are now ready to encode to our IPTRF parts 1 to 4. Sa encoding sheet, punta tayo sa Objective 8. So, wala na tayong classroom tool dito, classroom observation tool. Diretso tayo sa quality. Encode natin 5. And then, timeliness 5. Okay? So, makikita natin that pumasok na yan sa ating part dito. Hanapin natin ang Objective 8. Ayan. And also sa ating summary. So, meron na tayong score for Objective 8. Yay! We only left with 5 more objectives. And that's it for Objective number 8.
At ayan na nga ang ating Objective 8. Sana muli ay meron kayong natutunan at makatulong sa ating pagbuo ng RPMS portfolio. Hindi ko alam kung ako'y matutuwa o matatawa. Medyo tumigil na yung ubo ko nitong mga nakarang araw eh. Dahil sa sobrang excited ko dito sa video na to at nagdadakdak na naman si Teacher Racky. Ayan, bumabalik na naman siya. Nagpaparamdam na naman siya. Anyway, okay lang po yan. Please help, pray for me then for a good health po. Maraming salamat po. And please hit that like button if you like this video. Para po sa mga hindi pa nakakapag-subscribe, please do subscribe po. And hit that notification bell to bell all. I-bell all po natin ang notification bell para lagi tayong ma-update pag meron tayong mga bagong posted na video. Again, kung gusto nyo po ng free template, meron na naman tayong free template for this objective, yung ating reflection note. All you have to do is to subscribe to this channel, do a screenshot of your subscription at isend nyo po sa ating Facebook page. Ayan po ang ating Facebook page. Punta po kayo dyan. Don't forget to like and follow the page na din po. And then send a message. Opo, ipipm nyo po ako. Send me your screenshot of your subscription. And what is your request? I-send po natin yan. Minsan nakakalagpas sa akin yung ibang mga message. Pero lagi po ako nagre-reply. Wala po akong hindi nire-replyan. Lahat po yan nire-replyan ko. Ano po? Kaya siguradong makikita ko yan. Minsan nadidelay lang. Pero siguradong masasagot ko yan. That's it for our video for today. I'll see you again on our next video. That will be objective number 11. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po lagi sa inyong love and support. I'll see you again in our next video. Have a blessed day. God bless everyone. And let us all be a blessing to each one of us every day. Bye-bye.